Hello and welcome back to my channel, Explain USA. Pakistan once created a monster to gain an edge over its rival. But what happens when that monster finally breaks its chains? Well, this is the story of a grand strategy that completely backfired and how it led to a war nobody saw coming.
So I want you to picture this. The year is 2026. It's February. Inside a military command center, Pakistan's top generals are glued to satellite feeds of Kabul. Their defense minister steps up and declares that their patience has officially run out. It's war. Now, the obvious guess, right? It's got to be against their old rival, India. But you'd be wrong. The target is someone else entirely.
The declaration of war. It was against the Taliban government in Afghanistan. Yeah, the very same group that Pakistan's own intelligence agency, the ISI, had spent decades funding, training, and pushing into power. The creator was now officially at war with its own creation. So how on earth did this happen? I mean, how did a group that was basically seen as Pakistan's puppet become its absolute worst nightmare? The answer? Well, it's a twisted story of unintended consequences and a truly fatal miscalculation.
To really understand this crazy conflict, we have to go all the way back to the beginning, back to the deal that started this whole mess.
The whole plan, everything, it all hinged on this one military idea: strategic depth. The thinking was pretty simple, really. If Pakistan could just install a friendly, controllable government next door in Afghanistan, it would create this perfect buffer zone against their #1 rival, India.
And so, the plan kicks into high gear in 1994. Pakistani intelligence officers track down this little-known cleric, a guy named Mullah Omar, and they make a deal. They start pumping in weapons, money, training, you name it. Religious schools all over Pakistan basically turned into recruitment centers. And you know what? It worked perfectly. In just 2 years, the Taliban storms Kabul and forms a government, all with Pakistan's backing. For the next couple of decades, Pakistan played this crazy double game. Publicly, they were helping the US with the war on terror, but secretly they were sheltering the Taliban. So when the US finally packed up and left in 2021 and the Taliban just swept back into power, Pakistan celebrated. Their prime minister at the time, Imran Khan, even called it a victory. He thought his country's puppets were finally back in charge. But they had overlooked one massive, critical thing. Turns out, when you build a power out of religious fanaticism, you can't really control it for long. And all this time, a monster had been growing right in their own backyard.
Okay, so let's get our players straight so there's no confusion. First, you've got the Afghan Taliban. This is the group Pakistan created back in the 90s, the one they wanted to control Afghanistan for them and who are now back in charge over there. Simple enough.
But then there's this group, the TTP, also known as the Pakistani Taliban. Now, these guys were born from the same schools, they fought side by side with the Afghan Taliban, they share the exact same ideology, but their goal is singular. And for Pakistan, it's absolutely terrifying: to destroy the Pakistani state from the inside out. And if you want to understand the kind of horror the TTP has unleashed, you only need to look at what happened on December 16, 2014. TTP terrorists stormed a school in Peshawar and they systematically executed children right in their classrooms. It was, without a doubt, the darkest day in Pakistan's history, and it was carried out by an offshoot of the very movement the state itself had helped create. And ever since the Afghan Taliban took power again in 2021, this problem has just exploded. The TTP started using Afghanistan as a safe haven to launch attacks. And, I mean, look at these numbers. The death toll from terrorism in Pakistan nearly doubled in just 1 year, from 2024 to 2025.
So this creates a situation that is just impossibly complicated. Pakistan's closest ally is now protecting its deadliest enemy. That one strategic choice has now built a trap that no one can seem to escape from. And here is the deadlock. Pakistan is demanding that the Afghan Taliban go in and crush the TTP fighters who are hiding out in their territory. But the Taliban are terrified because if they do that, thousands of battle-hardened TTP fighters aren't just going to vanish. No, they're going to run straight into the arms of the Taliban's #1 enemy inside Afghanistan, ISIS-Khorasan. That would make the Taliban's own security problem a million times worse. So, neither side can back down. Pakistan absolutely cannot tolerate the TTP killing its people, and the Taliban can't risk making their own rival, ISIS-K, even stronger. It is a total stalemate that led them straight into a full-blown war.
And, just like in every single war, the real price is being paid by ordinary people.
in just the first 15 days of the war. We're talking late February to mid-March 2026. The human cost was just staggering. Over 70 civilians killed, hundreds more injured, and 100,000 people forced to leave their homes behind.
But the conflict hit its absolute low point on March 16th. During the holy month of Ramadan, a Pakistani airstrike hit a hospital near Kabul. The Afghan government claimed over 400 people were killed, including patients and children. Pakistan denied targeting the hospital, but the images of debris filled with hospital beds told a very different story.
From a purely military standpoint, it's a complete stalemate. Sure, Pakistan owns the skies and has a powerful modern army, but history has shown us, from the Soviets to the Americans, that trying a ground invasion of Afghanistan is a recipe for absolute disaster. On the flip side, the Taliban are masters of guerrilla warfare on their home turf, but they have no air force, no way to counter Pakistan's strikes, so neither side can actually win.
And this brings us to the final, absolutely crushing irony of Pakistan's entire grand strategy.
Just think about this for a second. The whole reason, the entire reason for creating the Taliban in the first place was to have a friendly proxy against India. But today, Pakistan finds itself bombing that very same Taliban government, and that government, meanwhile, is busy signing trade and infrastructure deals with Indian companies. The weapon Pakistan built to use against its rival has now turned around and blown up in its own face.
It's just a tragic, vicious cycle of violence. Pakistan created the Taliban gives shelter to the TTP, and the TTP attacks Pakistan. And in trying to put out this one fire, Pakistan is now setting the entire region ablaze, which leaves all of us with one final haunting question. If you like informative videos, you can subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.